In our timeline, the Americas get their name from Americo Vespuccio, which was an Italian trader, merchant / explorer that worked for the Crown of Castile and for a short period for the Crown of Portugal as well, and was originally from the Republic of Florence. He was the first to actually explore the American continent and realize that the American continent was a separate new world. Christopher Columbus, despite being the first in that area, only explored parts of the Caribbean islands on his first voyage before realizing that there's a lot more to the new world. So all of you Americans celebrating Christopher Columbus Day, just take note, the Vikings were there before, okay? And there were also people there before, so nobody discovered anything, alright? In an alternate reality, one in which the Romans colonized the new world and established a Greek Byzantine empire by the name of Elysium, a fraction of these Greeks, led by the brave general Belisarius, who renamed himself Leonidas, together with 300 of his personal guards, numerous volunteers and their families, discovered what we know as the Central American parts, and which they named Laconia, and established the first colony, as well as proclaimed the nation of Spartacon in honor of ancient Sparta, a nation of proud warriors, and boy are these guys proud warriors as well. Straight after landing, we got attacked by the vile Yokotan, so let's go ahead and try and take out their armies before they destroy our tents and our little fortifications here. We of course can also adopt legalism, and we can get some extra centralization effort to lower the autonomy in these newly conquered lands. We are essentially an army without a state right now, so we cannot colonize anything, but we have some massive bonuses for our armies and everything that is military, including the amazing ideas that include infantry combat ability, discipline, army tradition, morale of armies, production efficiency, and manpower with construction cost, as well as a unique mission tree and a unique set of events that I think we will all be very happy to discover together. We only have 1,000 manpower, however, and a limited amount of money, so we have to be careful what we're gonna do next, because we cannot afford to lose troops in these wars. We've got 1,000 more brave Spartans joining us in our siege of the vile city of Xixalamaklaklamelahu. We shall teach these barbarians not to mess with the mighty Spartans. Sadly, we only have one ship that we arrived on, so we cannot fight the enemy ships. Surprisingly, despite being natives, they have superior technology and cannons on their ships. I think we're in for a fight, boys. It is time for the Plinteria, the festival dedicated to Athena, our virgin goddess of wisdom. And from Plintheria, we shall get extra idea cost reduction and missionary strength to help us civilize and educate these natives to the greatest religion that ever existed, Hellenism. We're also going to order the construction of a mighty temple in Laconia for these natives to worship on their days off. It's mandatory. It's part of their contract whenever they work for us. After 500 gruesome days of sieging down their capital fort, we took it out, and now we can also siege the adjacent mighty city of Totil. Despite these natives being barbarians after all, they do have significant fortifications and cities, so there's definitely a lot of riches to be had from these lands. Our exiled Spartan unit technology is also significantly better than the technology group of the Elysian nation that we've abandoned and separated ties with. Even though they're still Greek and so are we, things will definitely change if we are going to be staying separate from one another for a very long time, especially since we make up only a minority of the people in these areas. We will eventually have to mix with the natives in these lands. One by one, these barbarians fall at our knees and are left at our mercy. Oh my god, that's a lot of them over here. Okay, we really need to make sure they don't attack us whilst we're sieging down their city. Oh, these cowards have no intention of actually attacking our mighty armies, do they? Well, you know what? I'm gonna be crushing ya, boys. I'll make you wish you never had to fight my brave troopers. Let's crush these scummy barbarians, boys. Ow! Ow! I feel like that sound might not really represent what we're doing here, so I'm gonna replace it with... And it is time for the greatest battle of the century. Can 10,000 brave Spartans defeat 20,000 vile barbarians? Oh, this is not even a challenge, isn't it? We're crushing them. I also just realized we actually have 125% discipline, which is insanely high amounts of discipline. And there you go. No more barbarians to be seen anywhere around here. We cannot conquer these lands directly, but we can vassalize these lands, and with them as our vassals, we can now take the adjacent provinces as our own provinces. Coalition, ha! What a joke. Who cares about coalitions, yo? Of course, it is going to be a full annexation for all of these lands in Xochitl, or whatever this was called. Now that we've asserted our domination here, it is time to continue to assert this domination around the other areas. They must fear us, for we are the Spartans. We have secured the landing beaches and many of the cities surrounding Laconia. Our population has now greatly increased alongside our army. However, this does mean a decrease in discipline as new soldiers are brought into the fold. So we lose the initial 25 discipline bonus that we had that pretty much won all of our battles right here. So it's going to be a lot harder expanding now. One of our explorers has just discovered some interesting ruins in Palenque. Most of it has been claimed by the jungles, but there is one particular building. If we invest in it, we can still use it, and I think we're going to do so for strategic archaeological reasons. We also start with the domination ideas that are unique to the Spartan nation and include land leader shock, autonomy change, war exhaustion reduction, and army tradition plus 0.75, extra colonists and settlers, as well as the ability to explore the new world, and core creation cost reduction as our last idea unlock. We also are going to delete this fort here in Palenque as we really don't need it. It's more than enough that we have the fort in Totil protecting this entire area. Near the town of Sotuta, our scouts have found the ruins of a great metropolis ravaged by wars and time. It is our sacred duty to rebuild this in our image, of course. So let's enable the construction of the Chichen Itza, which offers up to 20% manpower recovery, as well as infantry cost and recruitment time reduction, and it is insanely expensive, so that's going to take a while for us to be able to actually invest in this monument. Brave Leonidas the First Spartacon has just passed away, and his heir, Pleistocus, has taken charge of the nation. I'm actually surprised because Spartacon was super young. Perhaps it was an assassination. It means we also can choose a new god to worship, and we're going to go for Ares, the god of war, that offers us discipline and province war score cost reduction. All hail Ares! All hail Ares! A few years have passed since we came to these lands. We've managed to get a firmer grasp over them, but our economy is failing, and I believe it is time to get the gold mine right next to us in Coyolapalan. It is going to be a tough war because we do have to fight the Aztecs, the strongest of all the natives as far as we've heard, but it is necessary, so let's start our war. For Zeus! Or actually, for Ares! Don't strike me down, Ares. Don't strike me down. Begone, ye smelly barbarians. What's the best thing you can do during a war if it's not offering your soul to Hermes, the god of trade? Because everybody knows that's what we need right now, which is why we have a Hermaya, and we can get some benefits from worshipping Hermes. We can even change our deity to Hermes, but we're not going to do that. Spy Network does help, but we still want to keep Ares around to help with the actual fighting. It also looks like Teotihuacan is offering us 7,000 soldiers for free to fight in our name. Of course, we will allow them this honor. Let them do our bidding for a little while. Whilst investigating the ruins of Palenque, we found a hidden passage in one of the temples to what seems to be a tomb of a fabled ruler of the Mayan civilization, Pacal. There were various sculptures and reliefs depicting Mayan mythology. We also found Pacal's sarcophagus, where he was mummified, together with all of his juicy belongings. Goodies for the war effort is always welcomed. I just realized there's no way that we can actually get to the lands of the Aztecs and the Tlaxcala because we have not explored a couple of these provinces here. So because of that, we're gonna have to attack the nation of Totonac to get access through their lands. So let's do it now. I apologize, Totonac, but this is for strategic reasons. I got no beef with you. I'm only gonna take a couple of provinces. That's it, I promise. Now we can explore these lands as soon as we take the capital city of Totonac. Wow, okay, we definitely have some great heirs as Spartacon. Of course, it does help the fact that our government also offers us guaranteed +3 military mana, similar to the Prussian government type, without the debuffs. We are besieging the mighty Aztec cities, but we have to turn back. They're not piecing us out. We're gonna have to crush their armies that are sieging down our capital, because we also have rebel problems and we do not want these rebels to enforce their demands. We're also gonna sortie from the siege and bring every single defender in this battle. Let's push out these invaders and scumbag barbarians in general, and let's relieve the siege of Totil also. Yeah, bastards! How dare you try and siege me down, Totil? It's also time to peace out, Totonac. I cannot take everything I want because they're at war with somebody else here, and they also took a province. Who's this? Tlaxcala. Oh, Tlaxcala is not going to be able to take it. Oh god, this is going to be massive border war. One of our scouts just returned with some disturbing news. He says that near one of our newly conquered provinces resides the ruins of a great city and their inhabitants, which are the souls of the dead. I'm gonna go visit this place. Let's check it out, see what happens. Ancient Ghostbusters. Please, I hope I don't die because I actually have a really good leader. As I arrive in the city of the dead, I hear screams and howls through the leaves that make my hair stand up, and what seem to be years pass by in a matter of days. But alas, the ruins of the great city are filled with various pyramids, houses, and temples, undisturbed by time and men. Who knows what secrets lie within the ruins of this city? We can choose to settle it, which will offer some massive debuffs, or not disturb the dead, get 1 stability and 300 ducats. I don't want to disturb the dead, but I'm really curious to see what happens, so I'm just gonna cement to explore it a little bit more. I got a bad feeling about this. You can retreat, Aztecs, but you cannot hide from me. Taking this gold mine from the nation of Mixtec is going to be of massive help, as it is going to fuel our economy for the first initial conquests into the west and the east of these lands. Abandoned by time and seemingly forgotten by its people lies the mostly untouched walls, stairs, and platforms of the famous Baniban Castle, established on the Highlands province of Baniban. So whenever we decide to build a fort here, it is going to be the greatest defensive location for the entire region, protecting basically 7 adjacent provinces. We can also continue expanding into the east now, taking out the people of Quiche and discovering what lies to the further east after these lands. We are explorers, of course, so we need to know what's happening here. The ghost city of Mictlan is abandoned no more. What started as a simple settlement, Mictlan has become a center of Greek Hellenic innovation, and it is one of the greatest Spartan cities in all of Central America, or Laconia better yet. Even though I haven't even cored this up, it is Hellenic and Greek, so I absolutely love the choice that we took in colonizing or sending settlers to Mictlan. Our seer has had some disturbing visions that would hint towards a massive rebellion from the natives unless we appease their gods as well. So we have a choice to make here. Do we stick to our pantheon? Do we adopt some of the local deities as well? Or should we just ignore this lady? Because after all, are these visions even real? Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna go ahead and adopt some of the local deities. I really don't want to have to fight a massive rebellion, especially since we're so low on manpower. And by consolidating the eastern holdings over here, we have a much firmer grasp on these lands. I think the best choice now is to just finish off the Mayan tribes before heading on over and getting the rich gold provinces of the Aztecs. A full generation has passed since the original Greeks have landed on Laconia under Leonidas the Great. We've since mixed with the natives, and only a small minority are still descended from these original Spartans, and they form the Apogonoi, which is the upper class of our society, but we have since essentially integrated deeply within the local realms, and our culture is a mixture between the local barbarians and the Spartans. A changing nation indeed. We used to be invaders, but now now, we're nothing more than just a regular nation in Laconia. Our old warrior customs have changed as well, and during this time of turmoil, if we do decide to go to war, it's gonna have a long-lasting effect. Thus, the new nation of Spartania is born, and we have a brand new culture, as well as a brand new culture group, absolutely beautiful flag as well, and map color for that matter. But with the new government, we do have a lot of problems. Non-existent bureaucracy, shabby court, understaffed diplomatic corps, lack of admiralty, and so many other horrible reforms. We really need to fix the situation, and we have an extended mission tree, but we haven't even done the first mission because we need to take the province of Quextalan to do that mission. We're also going to have to rely on mercenaries for the time being to fill up our ranks, so we're going to be recruiting the Free Company in Mixe. It is time that we take care of Zapotec, one of the biggest nations surrounding us, but they have a lot of allies, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack their friends here in Campeche, and I'm not going to co-belligerate Zapotec, but it's still a-okay. I'd rather take the AE hit and get rid of these guys once and for all. Boom! You got no more army, Zapotec. You got no more army. I know we only have 5,000 units here, but we're still Spartans, so I'm confident we can take care of these boys here. Let's help out a little bit as well by sallying out the units from the siege. Should help out quite a bit. Booyah Shnakado. Now we can chase them off back to Campeche. It's surprisingly not even that many nations in the coalition against us from fully annexing all of Zacatec. And since we also have estates now, we can get cheaper 1% loans from the estates and pay off our older loans because, well, we have a lot of older loans. Just as the siege of Campeche is over after 1,099 days, a mysterious warrior from across the seas joins our armies. His name is Skander Bundeswehr, and he says he is the long-lost nephew of Georgi Skanderberg, the mythical general of Rome. Now that Campeche is out, we can have a long-lasting peace to recover our strength and rebuild our armies. Wait, Skanderberg, what are you doing? No, we need peace. We need peace. Oh, you attacked the natives, didn't you? Stop murdering the natives, Skanderbundeswehr. You're not allowed to do this. See how they're rebelling now because of your misgivings. I absolutely love the way that aggressive expansion works. 3 aggressive expansion from basically annexing everybody on the western part of the Laconian lands. And by west, I really just mean eastern parts. Ludi don't know where west and east is confirmed, guys. I exposed him, okay? Before the Elysians arrived, before the Romans fought the Turks, or before Romulus fought his brother, the ancient city of Tikal flourished thousands of years ago. It was one of the greatest Mayan city-states to ever exist, with over a dozen major pyramids and a population that reached 100,000 people, but it is now lying in ruins. There's great potential in this monument, and I believe it is time for us to restore the monument of Tikal as a Spartanian monument. For the first time since we landed in Laconia, we can actually choose a native policy and we can do some colonizing. We don't have many lands we can colonize. Let's go with the Kotomane, which is going to offer us more access into the north, and we're going to have to also explore these areas. But first, it is time to have a couple of big last wars against the natives. One against these boys and another one against this alliance block to finish him off once and for all. Boom, you guys are gone. Oh, you schnappeldoos, you had to take their capitals, didn't you? At least I can still take 2 of their provinces. The natives have been building forts like crazy. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 forts in 8 provinces. What is happening here? On the bright side, because there's so many forts, they also have to siege my forts down, but they do cost a buttload, and my economy is likely gonna be in shambles after I finish these wars. I might just declare bankruptcy once all of the region is unified. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Once a great empire, the Aztecs have been reduced nothing but rubble in the face of the mighty Spartans. Britannia. And oh my god, I got 116 overextension. I actually need to chill for a little bit now. With the last of the Eagle warriors surrendering, the grand capital of the Aztec Empire, Tenochtitlan, has fallen to the Spartans. Within the city ravaged by fire, most buildings have burned down, but the city's beautiful aqueducts, streets, and temples still remain, and one could repair the damage and even settle the city should they wish to. I think it is the best choice. We will be rebuilding Tenochtitlan in our image, a true Spartan city. Many years have passed since our arrival in these new lands, and even though our priests have tried converting the masses, they were faced with overwhelming numbers. The resistance to completely abandon the heretical thought of the natives has led to a mixture between our two faiths and the creation of the so-called Aztlan religion, in which both the natives are appeased by having their gods followed, as well as Spartans are appeased as the idea of superiority over the Elysian cousins of the Spartan origins is evident. We now have a center of reformation in the province of Mixe, and from here we're gonna have to deal with them, either adopt Aztlan as our religion or try to fight against it. I think it's time for some change in our country, and because of that I have adopted the new religion of Aztlan, which has its own pantheon. Morale of armies plus 10. Okay, I'm already loving this religion. Discipline plus 5%, not 2.5 from Ares. Manpower plus 20%. Tech cost reduction, trade efficiency. Alright, this is actually insane. And Leonidas offers manpower and settler increase. Let's go for this because I'm gonna start colonizing now, since we've basically unified all of the Laconian lands. The Great Serpent is awakened. The giant eagle carving now resides above the temple where once Zeus stood, and the priests chant for the grace of the gods, both old and new, proclaiming Helen II king over all of Spartaconia. We've also unlocked some new missions now since we've changed to Aztlan, and follow the true gods we will. Heralds from the north speak of the great Norse unifying into one massive nation by the name of Vinland, and our old Greek brethren have mixed up with the natives, creating the proper Elysian nation and giving way to its own culture group at the moment, quite separate from our own. Even though we do have common ancestry, our paths have definitely diverged. Beautiful Laconia, all of it is now ours, and we can do our final two missions here, Conquest of the Tarascan and Otomi. To do the next missions, we need to actually colonize these four provinces. Rumors that the great explorer Pythias was recruited by Elysian and then he suddenly went missing have just arrived. They did keep this as a secret from us, but they have decided to share with us their knowledge of the old world, and it is with a great pain in my heart to see the fact that the Ottomans have complete control over our old origins in the city of Constantinople. But perhaps once we've fully integrated and consolidated these new lands, we can pay the Ottomans a visit and take back Constantinople as the Spartans for say 10,000 likes. Also, check out this awesome video up next, and I really want to thank all my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers for the amazing support you guys have been offering. I really wouldn't be able to maintain this channel without all of your help.